Hi, dudes and dudettes. It's me, Bad Chad. Nice to see you again. Scott's not able to be here today. He actually had some insurance business to take care of with a few buddies of his, he told me. And so, I'm stepping in. I know what you must be thinking. Oh, why Chad? Why couldn't you get the tortoise to teach? Well, yeah, about that. Tortoise was a little bit preoccupied helping my friend Tony move.
Do you not realize that you serve the glory of the Empire? Move those lazy legs! Don't you dare give this young man, and if you don't move, you'll fill the cup to my lips!
So anyway, here I am today, dudes and dudettes. Today we're going to be talking about the parable of the unmerciful servant, and why God asks for us to give mercy and forgiveness to others if we expect to gain mercy and forgiveness back from God. Sometimes it's really hard forgiving someone who's hurt you in the past. It reminds me of this one time where there was this chick, right? And I really liked her. So I walked up to her and I was like, "Hey, dudette, would you like to go out with me, dude, Chad, sometime?" And she was pretty blunt about it and said, "No." I was like, "Oh, well, why not?" And she was like, "Well, you see, I'm actually engaged." I was like, "Oh, well, to who?" And she was like, "The youth minister here." So I was like, okay, dude, whatever, you know. I had to be willing to forgive her, even though she was kind of harsh about it. And so let's go ahead and talk about our very first verse. We're going to be using the book of Matthew today to talk about mercy and forgiveness, to outline it for us. And the very first verse is going to be in chapter 18 of Matthew, starting down in verse 21. Peter came up to the Lord and said, "Lord, how often shall my brother sin against me, and that I should forgive him? As many as 7 times? And Jesus said to him, I do not say to you 7 times, but 77 times.
So I tell you truly, not 7 times, but 70 times 7.
You mean 770?
No, what I mean is 70 times 7.
That's 70 and a 0. 7 times 0 is 0. And 7 times... What's 7? I don't understand. How do you get... No, but how do you not get 770? You see, dudes and dudettes, Jesus wasn't literally talking about forgiving your brother or sister merely 77 times. No, what he was really saying goes a lot deeper than that. What he was saying is that no matter how often your brother or sister may sin against you, you would be willing to forgive them each and every single time. Like that one time where my buddy Nasty Ned and I had this little disagreement. You see, he was wanting me to go to a party with him sometime. And I was like, "No, dude, it's not my style anymore. I don't really do that stuff anymore." You see, I knew what kinds of things he was talking about wanting to do at that party, and I really wasn't interested in that anymore because I've given my life over to Jesus, and I really wanted to follow him and what he's doing in my life. Only problem was, Ned doesn't agree with me, and so he and I got into an argument about it, and I said some pretty hurtful things to him, he said some pretty hurtful things to me, but in the end, I had to be willing to let that go and forgive him and be patient with him. And not just for his sake, but for my sake too. You see, God has this little verse here in chapter 6 of Matthew, where Jesus is speaking and he says, "If you forgive others their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others their trespasses, neither will your Father in heaven forgive yours." Jesus is sending a clear message here, dudes and dudettes. What he's telling us is that mercy and forgiveness, it's not a game where we gamble away ourselves.
Read.
Do forgiveness.
What? What is this about? Forgiveness, betting forgiveness and mercy. What are you guys doing?
I think I'll bet all my mercy and forgiveness.
What? Ooh. Betting mercy and forgiveness isn't a game. I'm the reason for mercy and forgiveness. What in the name of me are you doing?
Alright. Well, let's see.
What are you doing?
Yep, I'll call suit. I'll
Oh my gosh, are you insane?
Hit me.
Hit you. Oh, I'll hit you. I'll hit you. No, no, no. Mercy and forgiveness aren't chips that we toss into the pod in the middle of the table. Rather, what mercy and forgiveness truly is, it's a gift extended to us by God that He expects us to go and live out with other dudes and dudettes, showing them the same mercy and forgiveness that God granted us. It reminds me of this other time where my buddies, Sensational Susie and Dollar Bill, wanted to go do our old favorite game called nerd tipping, where we'd go around and poke nerds and push them around and stuff. It's kind of lame, come to think about it. But anyway, it was just the thing that we did for fun, you know. Only problem was, it hurt others around us. But that was during the time when I was enslaved to my old ways, my sinful ways. But God showed me mercy and forgiveness to bring me into the new way, Jesus' way. Let's go back to the parable of the unmerciful servant in chapter 18. Therefore, the kingdom of heaven may be compared to a king who wished to settle accounts with his servants. When he began to settle, one was brought to him who owed him 10,000 talents. That's money, dudes. And since he could not pay, his master ordered him to be sold with his wife and children and all that he had, so that payment may be made. So the servant fell on his knees, imploring him, "Have patience with me, and I will pay you everything." And out of pity for him, the master of that servant released him and forgave him the debt. In the same way, this is what God offers us in hopes that we'll extend to others. But He does show us that there is a punishment for those who do not forgive those who owed them a debt or forgiveness.
Get in!
Hey boss, what's up?
My associates here told me that you didn't pay up.
Yeah, that was the insurance money, boss. It wasn't my fault. It was the other guy, the insurance guy. He was the one responsible for that. That wasn't on me. You gotta give me, you gotta give me Rick.
You know, you pulled me from a very important party this evening.
Well, boss, I understand, but you know, there's gonna be another barn raising later in the month, I'm sure. You don't want to be in. But seriously, you gotta trust me. It was the other guy. He's short, white. I mean, he's got a bandana, a blue bandana. Trust me, it's not me, it's him. Find him, boss. How?
But you're the one that I gave the money to.
What? I didn't know that this scheme wasn't going to work out. What are we gonna do? I mean, right? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, boss?
Ladies, I think he needs a new pair of shoes. Take care of that for me.
Alrighty.
No, boss, you don't understand. No, your boss is wrong. You gotta go back. Wait, there he is. No, that's the guy. That's him. No, get him. Verse 28 now, dudes and dudettes. But when that same servant went out, he found one of his fellow servants who owed him 100 denarii. And seizing him, he began to choke him, saying, "Pay what you owe." So the fellow servant fell down and pleaded with him, "Have patience with me and I will pay you." He refused and went to put him in prison until he should pay the debt. And so, of course, all the other servants hear about this, and they go to the master and they tell him all about it. And the master brings them before him and says, "You wicked servant, I forgave you all the debt that you owed me, because you pleaded with me. Should you not have had mercy on your fellow servant, as I have had mercy on you?" In his anger, his master delivered him to the jailers until he should pay all his debt. So also my heavenly Father will do to every one of you if you do not forgive your brothers from your heart, dudes and dudettes. It's not just about saying it. It's about meaning it. If we truly want to forgive someone, It's because we're doing it out of love for them. Genuine love, like what Christ showed all of us when he came to this earth and saw how fallen and wicked the world had become. But he decided that he loved us enough anyway to go die on a cross for us so that we could have the forgiveness and mercy that the Father promised. In the same way, all that Jesus asks is that we be willing to return the favor to those who do the same to us. Rock on!
So I see that you changed my spinny chairs on me.
Shh. I need silence. I need concentration. Thank you.
The sun has destroyed my life.
How many times shall I forgive thy brother?
Up to 7 times?
Peter. Fisherman. Not mathematician.
That will always make me think of that.
Always love
Ever?
Exactly.
Dang it, they're stronger than I thought! God.